A reading from John. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus came to Bethany, the home of Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. There they gave a dinner for him. Martha served, and Lazarus was one of those at the table with him. Mary took a pound of costly perfume made of pure nard, anointed Jesus' feet, and wiped them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But Judas Iscariot, one of his disciples, the one who was about to betray him, said, "Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and the money given to the poor?" He said this not because he had cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. He kept the common purse and used to steal what was put into it. Jesus said, "Leave her alone. She bought it so that she might keep it for the day of my burial. You always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me." When the great crowd of the Jews learned that he was there, they came not only because of Jesus, but also to see Lazarus, whom he had raised from the dead. So the chief priests planned to put Lazarus to death as well, since it was on account of him that many of the Jews were deserting and were believing in Jesus. The word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
This isn't the first time that I've knelt here at his feet. My sister Martha hated it. She thought that when I was sitting at his feet, I was being lazy and selfish, like I was trying to get up out of helping her with the chores. I wasn't trying to get out of anything. I just couldn't help it. I had to hear every word that Jesus said. I moved to be near him as desperately as a thirsty person moves towards water. Even when my brother died and Jesus wasn't there, and the cracks in my heart let the waves of doubt and anger and fear in, even then, when Jesus finally came, I ran straight to him. I had to hear what he was going to say, because part of me still believed that he could make this terrible thing right. So I fell at his feet, and all my heart came tumbling out of my mouth before I could stop it. "Lord, if you had been there, my brother would not have died." Jesus didn't respond with wisdom or comfort or hope. He wept. He wept for me. He wept for my sister. He wept for my brother. He wept because he loved us. That would have been enough for me to know that my teacher and Lord saw us and felt our pain, and he was there with us in the depths of our suffering. But then through my tears, I saw him walk to my brother's tomb. I heard the sharp rumbling of stone against stone, and then suddenly the smell of death filled the air. And I knew that for some reason they had opened my brother's grave. I stood up and I tried to stop crying, to get the tears out of my eyes. I was trying to see what they were doing, and then suddenly Jesus yelled, "Lazarus, come out!" And as my vision cleared, the first thing that I saw was my brother standing in the door of his own tomb, alive. Jesus' words were even more powerful than I could have ever imagined. After that, Jesus had to go into hiding. Rumors started flying, and we know that they are true. All of the religious leaders are looking for their chance to kill him. He is causing too much of a stir. There are too many of us following him. The leaders are terrified that Rome will come with swords and fires, like they've done to so many other places in Israel when the Jews start getting rebellious. I would have believed that death would never touch Jesus, the one who had snatched my brother from death's grip. I would have believed with all my heart if I hadn't heard what Jesus keeps saying. The Son of Man must suffer many things. The Son of Man will be betrayed to the chief priests and the teachers of the law. They will condemn him to death. I lay down my life for my sheep. He's been telling us he's going to die for so long. I think we all keep trying to ignore it. It's not what we want to hear, but Jesus' words are too true and too powerful. His words have filled me with meaning and grace. His words raised my brother from the dead. I have to believe his words now too, even though I don't want to. Jesus is going to die. I'm already weeping for him. I can barely sleep imagining what he is going to suffer, imagining life without him here. And tonight he came to dinner at our house. Lazarus was asking him questions about his favorite Torah stories. Martha was running back and forth between the kitchen and the table to make sure that all the plates and cups were always full. Everyone was just acting like everything was normal. I couldn't take it anymore. I came running into the room with the most beautiful jar of oil I could find. I didn't even realize I was weeping until I was already here, back at Jesus' feet, tearing the lid off the jar and pouring the oil all over his calloused feet. My eyes start blinking so fast I can barely see. The smell of the nard is sharp and strong, but I just keep pouring until I'm weeping so hard that my arms can't hold the jar anymore. I set it down, and then I see the oil still dripping off of Jesus' feet into a puddle on the floor. It's too much. It's too much. I don't have anything else, so I start wiping his feet with my hair. Through the sound of my panicky breathing, I hear Judas. If she was going to waste all that fancy perfume, she should have sold it and given it to the money to the poor. And guilt rips through me, and I collapse to the floor at Jesus' feet. But then I feel a gentle hand on my head, and I hear Jesus stand up for me, like he always does. Telling them that what I did is right, that I'm helping him prepare for his death. I'm feeling too many emotions. I don't know what to do anymore, but I did the best thing that I could think of. I remember Jesus' words, what he said at Lazarus' tomb. I am the resurrection and the life. Those who believe in me, even though they die, will live. I don't know what it means yet, but I believe. Lord, help me.